Hello everyone, thanks for dropping by. Before I start, that's the latest and greatest entry-level Ferrari. Yours for £240,000 before you start forking out on options. And if I was approaching 30 years old, was wealthy, and of course if I was single, I'd have one. Anyway, we're now in the second third of 2022, and as predicted by some American magazines and websites, the marriage industry is going to be booming in this year. Whether it actually happens, I have no idea, but that's what they're predicting. As you can see, this is a site called Johnson Jones Group. It's a digital marketing agency, and this was written November 23rd last year. As you can read, the wedding industry has forecast a boom or bust and what you need to know. Apparently, there's going to be a boom in weddings all over the United States, and it's going to be a bumpy year for the wedding industry. The number of weddings for 2022, as you can see, is going to be 2,469,186 weddings, but each of them will cost $24,317, which means a total sale of around $60 billion. Now, it says the future cost of weddings, an average spend back to pre-pandemic levels over $24,000, and that's even before you start your married life. Now it goes on to what you can expect, and that also, to back that up, Forbes magazine, Forbes website, says US expects a wedding boom in 2022. Now, apparently, the average number of guests at these American weddings is 129 people. I've never seen 129 people. And in fact, I don't even know 129 people, I should say. Now, that's all well and good for the marriage industry. However, there's always a flip side to everything. And looking around, dated 25th of May 2021, I found this. Men no longer want to marry. Now, this is a biblical sort of explanation. It's mostly aimed at women, because there's very few references to guys. Now it says, of course, there are feminist goals to convince women that they don't need men. I don't need no men, as they say in the black areas of America. They need careers and paychecks more than they need a husband and children. They convince women to store their treasures, careers and paycheck upon this earth where moth and rust destroy, rather than storing them husband and children in heaven. As I see, but it goes down, there's also a rise in men's rights groups such as Men Going Their Own Way, i.e. MGTOW, and the Manosphere, where men in droves complain about men's unfair treatment in relationships and family courts. We've all heard that before. They're tired of being browbeaten by women and the gender bias laws against men. For this reason, millions of men don't want to get married and are opting out of marriage altogether. Now, this was written 2021. So, how does it correlate with that? Also, once you do get married, there's a chance that the woman will divorce you. Now, this was written on July 21st, 2021. The breaking point, why do women initiate divorce more than men? And it's written by a woman, naturally, and it explains why. Women crave connection, but they don't know how to ask for it. In other words, it's always centered around her. Why do women initiate divorce more than men? Men think everything's fine. Women think the ship is sinking fast. And I covered a thing about the marriage strike in India a couple of videos back, and this is like a follow-up I found on this Indian news site called News 18. It's attacking Indian women, attacking men via Twitter, naturally, and they're denigrating this man strike in India, but they see an Indian headline, women using rape laws for vengeance, Delhi High Court. These people are red-pilled now. They know what it feels like to be falsely accused. Many of them and their relatives are even sent to jail on the basis of allegations. Their HV becomes stronger and are fighting tooth and nail against these false cases. Now that is one of the reasons why MGTOW is growing. Come on. This site I found, there's no date on it, but it says Girls Ask Guys. As you can see, the title is Why MGTOW is Growing. It gives an explanation of why. Sorry about this, people, but Chrome has been acting very odd this last couple of days, and as you can see, it's a bit stuttery. But you can do all the things, all the right things. Then you look at this photograph, and you can see she goes with a Chad, and no matter how good you are, she doesn't want you. Then you see the picture like the one above. They see that in reality their physical appearance matters, and almost no amount of treating women nicely will increase your attractiveness. In fact, nice guy is now an insult, and it just explains about MGTOW. So why is MGTOW growing? Because all the problems are getting worse and worse. Anyone that addresses them is labelled a misogynist, a Nazi, a right-winger, yada yada yada. And sooner or later, when they're shoving men into the social background, they'll form their own little clubhouse, and they say F off to everyone who asks them. The whole name means men going their own way. Now, I found this sorry tale in China, from China. This was dated 25th of July 2016, but this poor guy, as the Americans would say, she really did a number on him. I'll leave this so you can read it, but he spent all his money on a selfish bitch who cleared off, and he's in debt, and he was ill, but he's still trying to go for a second shot by going on blind dates. This first wife he met, girl of his dreams, ended up being deserted by the woman 3 days after their wedding. And it's sad. If anything will make a man go MGTOW, it's what happened to this guy. Other Chinese guys will have known about it and heard about it, and that's one of the reasons why MGTOW might be going in China. It's a bit of a feedback, but I feel sorry for him. He should have thought with his big head and not with his little head. But anyway, apparently, go back, the wedding industry is set to boom in America. Forbes also says it, but men are no longer wanting to marry, especially in America with the rise of MGTOW, so it's a case of who's right and who's wrong. I'll try and find something else for this topic, but for now I think we're on the 10-minute mark, so I naturally put all the links below. Right, people, you know the routine: like, dislike, comment, subscribe, completely up to you, but the marriage industry is obviously going to go into a boom in America, or it's going to go in a slump in America, and it's just a case of waiting to see what happens. So until next month.